Every new edition of Microsoft's operating systems gives us something new in group policy. And they continued the tradition with Windows Server 2012 by giving us something new called Starter GPOs, or Starter Group Policy Objects. Since this is a new feature, and since it's such a really unique, cool feature, you can expect to see questions pertaining to this on the exam. So let's discuss them here and get you up to speed on them. First of all, what is a Starter GPO? It is nothing more than a predefined group policy object that you can use to pre-populate your own new group policy objects. Now, when you first start working with these things, you kind of sit there and stare at the administrative template and think, now, what exactly do I want to set on my machine? Because now there are thousands of settings that you can make using group policy objects. Now, certainly, you should plan these things out, really think them through. But let me give you an example. The Starter GPOs that are included for Windows XP contain predefined settings based on Microsoft's Windows XP and Windows Client Security Guide. So if you're concerned about security, these Starter GPOs will get you a very good base security settings in a GPO, and then you can tweak them based on the particular needs of your network, environment, users, all those sorts of things. Now, group policy administrators can create new Starter GPOs customized for your organization, and then, of course, tweak those, save them out there, Starter GPOs, and then future GPOs that they create can be based on those Starter GPOs that they created. The Starter GPO functionality is disabled by default. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to turn it on. And when it is enabled, Starter GPO templates will be installed. Now, the default Starter GPOs that you get are for two environments, as described again in that Windows Client Security Guide. And you're going to get the Enterprise Client, or the EC environment scenario, and the Specialized Security Limited Functionality, or SSLF client environment scenario. So the Starter GPOs that are included with Windows Server 2012, and by the way, kind of stay tuned out there to Microsoft's website. No doubt we're going to see other Starter GPOs be introduced for the other client systems. But there's going to be a Starter GPO for Windows Vista EC Computer, Windows Vista EC User, because again, keep in mind, these GPOs work on the computer and the user separately. The Windows Vista SSLF Computer, and the Windows Vista SSLF User. Then you're going to get the Windows XP EC Computer and the Windows XP EC User. So what I want to do now is jump out into Server Manager. So I'm just going to click the Windows button, jump out to the Start menu, and then I will kick off Server Manager. And then once I get into Server Manager, I want you to notice the first thing here is I already have the Group Policy Management Console loaded, and for you to get it, you will have to have added it as a feature. So you go into, let me go back, I might have clicked that too quick for you. Add Roles and Features, click Next. Make sure you're on role-based or feature-based installation. We're going to do a feature here. Click Next. We're on the server we want to be loading the role on. And right here on the roles, I'm just going to go Next on the role. And you will notice right down here, there's Group Policy Management. I have already installed it. If you haven't, click the checkbox, keep going Next, Install. When you get done, you will be able to go to Tools in Server Manager and see Group Policy Management. So I will click on that, and here is my Group Policy Management console. I'll make it full screen here so that you can see hopefully a little better. And notice as I expand, my forest is vtcad.class, and here's my domains right here. I am going to expand this over, and notice right down here at the bottom of this tree are Starter GPOs. Now, all I have to do is click Create Starter GPOs folder, and there it created them, and there you can start to see some of the Starter GPOs that are out there. So it's that easy to get Starter GPOs working, to have these, and then you can build from here and build your own. But this is a great way to get a good base going, to know that you've got things set up based on Microsoft's recommendations and standards. But let me stress to you, like all GPO usage, test these in a non-production environment, because when you unload this stuff or you load this stuff in a production environment, sometimes it'll lock things down a lot harder than what you thought. And let me point out one last thing before I let you go in this video. The starter GPOs that you see here cannot be edited. I'll have to make a copy of them first, and then I can edit that copy. So that's kind of the heads up on starter GPOs.